South Sydney will defend the southern end of the field. They'll be running towards the Sydney side, and Illawarra Steelers, of course, in the scarlet and white, will have the advantage of quite a strong breeze blowing at their backs. So all is in readiness for what should be a very good game here at the Wollongong Showground. The Steelers have been defeated in their 2 matches to date. They lost against Canberra. Then last week they went down to North Sydney here at Wollongong Showground. And I know Coach Brian Smith has certainly got the guys fired up to do well for this afternoon's match. Kick-off about to take place as Dorothy kicks it deep downfield, taken by the South Sydney halfback in Coleman. Straight away he gives it to Biles, and Biles is met by a couple of Steeler defenders still inside the South Sydney quarter. The Illawarra Steelers coming up with wins in both the lower grades. They won the under-23s by 12 points to 0, and in quite an entertaining reserve grade match, the Illawarra Steelers took the points by 18 points to 8. This is Aleph with the ball. He's met with a solid defence from the Illawarra side, just outside South Sydney quarter. The Souths trying to work it outside their quarter. They'll be running against a strong breeze in the first half. Back it goes to Baker. He decides to play it downfield. Good kick by Baker. He finds the open spaces. Dorothy scampers back for it. The Steelers with their first chance with the ball now. So it's quite a good kick by Baker. He's put the Steelers just outside their own quarter in about centre field. So Aleph goes in over the top. Of course, Royce Aleph, former Illawarra player in his junior days. The referee for this afternoon's match, Mr. John Gosher. So the Steelers, now this is Pat Smith. And there's going to be a penalty to Illawarra. So referee John Gosher has got Darren McCarthy offside, so the first penalty of the match goes to the Steelers. So John Dorothy would certainly be looking to find touch a few metres inside South Sydney's side of halfway. Big kick by Dorothy. Certainly the advantage of the strong breeze behind him, because Dorothy's found touch about 5 or 7 metres inside the South Sydney quarter. Now a chance to put on a set move. This is Peter Smith. Good run by Smith. About 15 metres out from the South Sydney line. This is Seamus O'Connell. Aleph giving me a facial massage on the way. Now they work it towards the ocean side. And the Steelers have scored in the opening few minutes of the match. Jeff Selby. So John Dorothy now moves into it, right foot hits it, and it's right between the posts. So Illawarra leading South Sydney by 6 points to 0. About 16 metres out from the Illawarra Steelers, from the South Sydney try line. Ball into the scrum. Mackie come out with it, but the referee John Gosher says we'll have it in again. Mackie to feed the ball. It's a penalty to South Sydney. So referee John Gosher not happy with the Steelers front row. So Neil Baker to find touch. Doesn't find a great deal of distance with the kick. Only picks up a couple of metres. So South Sydney still deep inside their 22. Take the tap. This is Ackery. Good run by Ackery. Charges into the Steelers front row. Couple of metres outside South Sydney's quarter. This is Aleph. Good low tackle by O'Connor. Stops Aleph's progress. Gets to his feet. Fennick, a dummy half. Oh, it's been put down. It's been put down by Michael Andrews, the South Sydney second rower. So the Steelers a chance now to get back into this game, get some more pressure on the South Sydney defence. This is Dorothy. They work the grandstand side, holds it up to Hetherington, the skipper. He decides to run back the other way. Now he tries to find a bit of a gap, but Fennick grabs him around the bootlaces. Illawarra 6, South Sydney 2. This is Mackie from dummy half. No one's there. Then gives it back to Dorothy. Dorothy's found a gap. I think he'll score. John Dorothy. John Dorothy on the Boyle has scored the Steelers' second try of the match. 13 minutes of play and they've had 2 tries scored against him as Dorahy, he's missed it. About 12 metres out from the Steelers line, they work a set move. This is Evans. Seamus O'Connell around his bootlaces was able to hold his progress. Now Fennick loads to Coleman with a run around now with Mario Fennick. Ackery, a dummy half. This will be another penalty to the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Baker moves into it, right foot hits it, and it's straight between the posts. Ackery down below and in the middle, Mario Fennick. Back it goes. This is Patterson playing against his old club. Shows it one way, gives it to Mackie. Mackie's up over the quarter. Good run. Mackie met by his opposing halfback in Coleman. Now the Steelers work it towards the Ocean side, but no play on, says referee, and Reddy stands in the tackle. Last tackle, says referee John Gosher. Back it goes to Dorahy. Dorahy decides to have a go at field goal. And it's there. John Dorahy has landed a field goal. So that takes the Illawarra Steelers on to 11. And they lead South Sydney, who are on 4. Illawarra side leading by 11 points to 4. We've had about 7.5 minutes to this second half. In it goes. Won by the Steelers yet again. This is Dorahy up in the back line. But a good tackle to bring him down. Now this is Reddy. Takes it up, puts the shoulder down, is met by 2 South Sydney players. Plays the ball. Hetherington goes from dummy half, sends a long one out to his winger. But Saunders was wrapped up by his opposing winger in Neville. Now the Steelers work it back towards centre field. That's Seamus O'Connell. Ackery and Ailiff halt his progress. O'Connell scampers from dummy half, picks up Worthington. Tries to go a one-handed pass, lovely to Selby. Selby tries to get a clearing pass, it's been knocked down. Steelers come up with the ball again, but the referee Gosher says knock-ons both ways, and another scrum to pack down. South Sydney playing with only 11 men at the moment. The 5'8" Baker having been sent off for an alleged head-eye tackle on Michael Patterson. And Mario Fennick serving 10 minutes in the sin bin after not agreeing with one of referee John Gosher's decisions. This game has been played at quite a good deal of pace in it. Both sides throwing everything into it because the Steelers desperately want to win today. Patterson, who's had a big game for the Steelers, been on the receiving end of a few crunch tackles. So this scrum's been won by the Illawarra side. This is Alan McIndoe. So the Steelers camp taking full advantage of their opposition while their hooker Mario Fennick's not in. Now it's Patterson. Throws it back to Mackie. Patterson's been wiped out again in back play. This is Selby. Reaches the quarter. Throws it back to Seamus O'Connell. One-hander back to Mackie. Mackie gives it to McIndoe. McIndoe will score. He's beaten 1-2. And Alan McIndoe will score for the Steelers. Right under the black dot. So 10 minutes into the second half. And Alan McIndoe, that could be the turning point for South Sydney now. South Sydney only playing with 11 men and had to crack. That brings up the third try for the Illawarra side. They lead by 15 points to 4. Joe Cool, a chance to add the extras. The South Sydney, it's been a gutsy effort by them. They're only playing with 11 men at the moment. They've lost their 5'8" for the match, Neil Baker. And the Illawarra side have thrown the ball around, taken full advantage of the situation. They've come up with 2 scrums, 2 scrum wins while Fennick has been off. And now Joe Cool has the chance to add the extras. He moves into it, right foot hits it, and it's straight over the black dot. Steelers leading by 17 points to 4. They come up with a scrum. This is their Steelers winger, Owen Saunders. Plenty of pace on the Steelers flanks. And this is Worthington just running it back towards centre field. The Steelers, of course, with a 17 points to 4 lead. Don't have to do anything fancy now. Seamus O'Connell, driven into the ground. That was Zachary. So the Steelers come up with the ball. This quick pass nicely onto Carberry. Turns a one-handed pass back inside to Doherty, but the referee has ruled a forward pass. So another scrum to pack down. The Steelers leading by 17 points to 4. They'd be going for the trifecta if they managed to win this match today. They won both the lower grades, 12-0 the under-23s and 18-8 the reserve grade. Steelers come up with the ball. This is Mackie. So now they work it towards the ocean side. Doherty, a long pass to Patterson. Now it's with Hetherington. He claps on the pace inside the South Sydney quarter. Gets to his feet. Good tackle by Murphy, the South Sydney centre, on his opposing player. Reddy does a pirouette. Tries to stand in the tackle. Can't get the ball away. And the South Sydney players swarm in on the former international. From dummy half goes O'Connor. Steelers leading by 17 points to 4. South Sydney playing with only 12 men. Back it goes to Mackie. Now it's with Patterson. He holds it up, gives it to a centre three-quarter, David Moon. Last tackle, says referee John Gosha. Back it goes to Carberry. Carberry puts it in the air. It's a good kick by Carberry. Podgy takes it well. And Podgy in turn is barreled over by the Steelers' defence. So South Sydney now running it out. There's a penalty to South. So South Sydney now tends to relieve the pressure off them. They certainly look a tired bunch at the moment. They're playing with only 12 men. And of course the Steelers scored that their only second half try when South were down to 11 men. So South Sydney about to take the tap just outside their quarter. This is Coleman. Gives it to Chisholm. Now it's with McCarthy. And the son of the former great South Sydney player is wrapped up in centre field. They continue to work the Oceanside Souths, and Murphy tries to get around his opposing centre. But a good tackle by Moon brings him down. Now this is Darryl Neville, replacement winger for George Longbottom. So South, Fennick gives it to Ackery, takes it up hard. South Sydney, a couple of metres inside their own side of halfway as Fennick tries a long pass out to Chisholm. He's wrapped up though. The Steeler outfit has been a big improvement this week on their previous two outings. South Sydney now work the ocean side, and the second row has cracked them back inside to Ayliffe. Ayliffe draws the defence, gives it to Coleman, but Coleman's put it down. A good covering tackle by Brian Hetherington on the South Sydney halfback. And the Steelers will come up with the ball. This is Carberry. Illawarra leading by 17 points to 4. And we're about 20 minutes into the second half. This is David Moon. Oh, it's going to be intercepted by Neville. And Neville will score the first South Sydney try of the match. So South Sydney, chance to add the extras now. Reduce this deficit a bit more, and the kick successful. So South Sydney trailing by 17 points to 10. So the scrum to pack down. The Steelers leading by 17 points to 10. And Kelly makes a bit of a bust from the scrum half. Turns a nice pass to Saunders, backing him up. The crowd began to cheer because Saunders is electrifying if he gets into the clear. So the Steelers work the ball towards the grandstand side. It's going to be put down by Jason Moon. So another scrum to pack. So we're getting into the dying stages of this match, and it certainly appears as if the Illawarra side's going to come up with the competition points. South's come up with the ball though. Biles ducks under one attempted high tackle, and he's mowed down nicely around the ankles by Michael Patterson. So South Sydney playing with only 12 men. This is Davies. Came on to replace Coleman midway through the second half and seems to have put a bit of life into the South Sydney camp. So South playing with 12 men. This is Mario Fennick, throws it back inside to a support. Now it's been dropped on the ground and I think Reddy will come up with the ball. So Rod Reddy gets to his feet, a little bit slower than the average pace. Now it's Bradley. So the Steelers running it towards centre field. This is Seamus O'Connell. Had quite a strong game. This is the hooker now tries to make a bit of a bust. Kevin Kelly standing in a tackle. So the Steelers now work a set move. This is Reddy running behind the referee, and then he's wrapped up by Ackery, the South Sydney front rower. So Reddy trying to get to his feet. Ackery's still in the way. No doubt stalling tactics by Reddy to try and just hold this game up a little bit more. Patterson turns it back to Dorahy. Dorahy gives it to McIndoe on the wing. Good tackle by Biles. The changeover of possession, so South Sydney to come up with the ball. They're inside their quarter. This is Chisholm, the lock forward. Reaches the South Sydney quarter. He gets to his feet. Fennick unloads to a support. South Sydney trailing by 17 points to 10. It's been a gutsy effort by South. They've played most of the second half with only 12 men. And of course the Steelers scored their only second half try when Souths were actually down to 11 men. So it's been a determined effort by South Sydney. Darryl Neville to play the ball now. South looking disjointed at the moment. They're trying to stand off. Davies gives a long pass to McCarthy. Long one out now. This is Podgy, the fullback. He's come on down the wing. That's Andrews who's pushed into touch. So another scrum to pack down. Getting very close to full time. Steve Larder coming on wearing jumper number 14, and he replaces Brian Hetherington. He gets a rousing reception as he leaves the field. Steelers come up with a scrum and Kelly's busted him. He's over the quarter. I don't think they'll stop him. His momentum will get him there. Kevin Kelly. Joe Cool moves back, tends to add the extras. The game's all over. It's 21 points to 10. He's landed that one. So it's 23 points to 10 in favour of the Illawarra side. And full time is almost upon us.